This is Nick N3WG, and in this video we're going to be looking at, fresh out of the box, what to do with a pigtail. So this is the pigtail as it ships. It's the fully assembled version. In the back here we have this piece of paper that has links to, if this is a kit, if you're missing any parts, how to get in touch, where the assembly manual is, as well as the user guide, and then this community that's been formed. There's a pigtail group out there where you can post questions and get answers. Or you can email me directly. This is the silicone wrapper that goes around the pigtail. So let's open this up and take a look at what you're going to have to do to use it. So it ships, if we take the 9-volt compartment cover off, it ships with the power disconnected. So this is the 9-volt connector. And then this is the, this plugs into the board. It's just a little 2-pin connector. So it gives you some flexibility as to how you want to power the device. In the one that I use for testing and development, I've attached power poles to it and cut a little hole in the silicone. And this runs straight up into the 9-volt compartment in here and down into the board. It connects right around in here. So whenever you receive it, you're going to have to decide on how you want to power the device. If you do it with a 9-volt, you should get heavy use, maybe 3 hours out of it. A lot of idle use, then you can probably get, 6 hours or so. I haven't actually tested it, but that's just based on ratings of off-the-shelf 9-volt batteries. This guy runs in idle, it's 50 milliamps. That's in receive, and then in transmit, it's around 170 milliamps. Alright, so also you get this little piece of foam that you can stick on the bottom there to keep the 9-volt from bouncing around. Also, once you build this cable, you have to take out these 4 screws here, run it up through this hole, and plug it into the board, and put the screws back together. And you're set. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, so once you have it all put back together, you just slip on the silicone wrapper here. And if you do have a 9-volt in there, then there obviously wouldn't be anything hanging out. And this thing actually does slip down in there, so I could just have the power poles hanging out. I haven't tried cutting out a rectangle here as well as out of the enclosure to try to, hack it together so it's just got the power pole showing, but it should be doable. So I'm going to plug this guy in to this power supply back here. And turn it on. So you can see that the red and green lights are blinking. That means that, and this is configured as it would be fresh out of the box from the shipment. So it's created an ad hoc network, but nothing's connected to it. So let's bring the iPad over here. Super secret password. And we're going to open the settings application. And go to Wi-Fi. And you'll see this device here, Pigtail AD. The AD is the last 2 characters of the MAC address of the Wi-Fi module in the board. So I'm going to click on that, and once it stops spinning we have a check mark, and you'll notice if you look at the pigtail it's no longer blinking red, so it knows that there's a device on the same network with it. Well, but we can't use it yet, because if we come in here and look, you'll see that there's no IP address in here. So it's set to DHCP by default, and this is an iOS thing. There's nothing I can do about that. And eventually what's going to happen is it's going to give itself an address. Here we've got 169.254.4.56 with a 16-bit subnet mask. So this happens by default. After about 20 seconds it'll give itself an address. In order to speed that up, what we can do is set this to static, and we're going to give it the IP address 169.254.1.2 with that same subnet mask, 255.255.0.0. And then hit back. And then anytime you were to come in here and reconnect to the pigtail, so if I switch over to this network, watching you 22, and then go back to the Pigtail, it's saved that IP, so it's much quicker to do it that way. So once that's set, then we open up Hamlog, and I have this set for large font mode. We go into Tools, and by default Pigtail is down here near the bottom of the list, but I've moved it up using this Edit button over here. Let's open up Pigtail, and you can see that it popped up right here. This can take up to 10 seconds or so for this to be discovered. This can be scrolled here to read a little bit more information. Also, this is in the next version of Hamlog where we have a sub-radio type listed down here. So if we click on Elecraft, you can see KX3, K3, and K2. And then for Yaesu, we have 817, 857, and 897. So you select your manufacturer, select your radio type, and then click on the IP address. And you'll see up top that it says selected, the IP address, and the manufacturer. And then it's just a matter of coming back here and adding a contact. And you'll see that the light is no longer flashing, so we're connected. And you'll see the activity indicator here. So this is a command being sent out the serial port from the iPad itself. Every second it's querying whatever it's plugged into. There's nothing plugged into it right now. And you can see up top we have this green icon that says we are connected. Mode and frequency are empty because I don't have any radio plugged into this. So that's the basic gist of it. Just make sure you select the right radio manufacturer as well as the sub-radio type. And then come in here and add a contact, and the mode and frequency will populate for you. As well as when you click Pigtail down here, then you get the user interface. And this is the interface for the KX3. This will be in the next version. And I'm about to, right after this video, I'm going to make a video with the KX3. So look for that out on the same YouTube channel.